What's up, Liron here, and today I'm going to review paintings by Ray Balkwill. What's up, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another video. And as I mentioned, today we're going to review artworks by Ray Balkwill. And I want to give you some background as to how I discovered his art and a bit about his style, because it's going to be a little unique compared to what we've seen so far. So Ray Balkwill is a really impressive artist. I'm going to show you a picture of his probably here or maybe later on in the video. And so I was browsing just videos of artists. You know, there was this art video company called APV, and I was just going through some of these videos, and I just came across his work. And the thing that captivated me in his style again is that it's impressionistic. It's highly his interpretation. It's highly in the direction of his way of seeing the world. But it has a realistic touch. It looks realistic. There is strong realism there. If you take a few steps back and you look at the paintings, the artwork, they look realistic, which I love. I love that combination of impressionism and realism. Now, Ray Balkwill's work, he uses mixed media. So far we've had mostly watercolor, then a bit of oils with Sargent in the last episode. This time it's going to be some mixed media, which is going to be, I think, really interesting. He uses watercolor mainly, then there's gouache, there's chalk, there's pastels, there's maybe a bit acrylics, I'm not sure, but I do know gouache for sure. So I just think it's going to be interesting seeing how he does that, and I will link down below to some videos of him showing you how he works, just the teaser, like the 2 minutes video of showing you how he does some of that. I think it's really interesting. I'll also link up to his website below so you can check out his work. I know a lot of his paintings are in galleries, so you definitely, if you like the style, maybe get one. And so yeah, I'll have everything in the description box below. I hope you enjoy this one. Let's get started. Okay, so let's get started, and I got this camera here so you can see my face, and hopefully that works well. So let's look at the paintings, and I wanted to start with what I think is a classic Ray Balkwill scene. Is really boats. He's all about boats. You're gonna see a lot of boats in this video, fair warning. So this is the first one, and I love it. So we have the two boats, and then another one here, a little closer to us. I think he likes to do a lot of playing around with the placement of them, and we're going to talk a bit more about composition later on. He likes to play with the placement of the boats to create interest. Then in the background we have this beautiful bluish lilac, I guess, color. If we zoom in a bit so you can see, that really is just pushed to the back, and it plays as a perfect background for this. And you don't have to really think too much about what's in there. It's just a few buildings, and it's really obvious what it is, and nothing is in excess. Everything is just what you need. Now, one more characteristic of his work that I really admire is look how he treats this lower area here with the boats and under. So he has this water puddle here, and there's a lot of different like debris and dirt and things running around across just the sand. So many interesting colors. We've got some yellow here, some red, green in the reflection that's very vivid. So it all just works. In the background we have just stains and smudges. The sky is very simple with the rough edges in the clouds. Doesn't care about that. The figure here has been made distinct compared to the background by these lines. It's so beautiful that it almost looks like it was digitally painted. I love this, and this is a typical Ray Balkwill work that I really wanted to show you what a typical work is. Okay, so now we're going to move on. You're going to see a lot of boats, but I wanted to mix it up. So here we have this beautiful rural scene, I suppose, a small town with these buildings. Looks I think he's from the UK, so this looks like a UK rural scene. And then we have these mini waterfalls with the flow of water. And notice how, like, for example, here he has this beautiful blue smudge, and then there's a bit of lilac, and then because this is it looks like gouache, I think. So it's more about mixing the color than putting it in. There's less flow, so you can actually see the brush strokes, which I love. There's a lot of dry brush strokes here that you can see by all of these little dots that were left in there. There are these smudges of pulled paint right around here. You can see it. So maybe he used a palette knife. Just beautiful work. Just fantastic. This is a more, I think, interesting scene in that I feel like compared to some of his other work, this one has a bit more watercolory feeling to it. There is a lot of opaque paint here. You can see some gouaches and I think pastels too. But overall, there's this feel of watercolor. Notice the beautiful highlights on the boats with the sun coming from maybe from the back of this tower in the background. Really, again, nothing in excess, just everything you need, nothing more. Sorry about this thing behind me, that's my tripod improvisation. I hope it doesn't distract you too much. But in any case, we're going to run through some of these because they're similar and there's a lot to go through, and I do want to, the last painting, I want to cover it in depth. So we've got here another beautiful scene, and what really, I think, captured me or captivated my imagination with this one is the strong sunlight hitting the boat, hitting the beach, hitting this lighthouse here on the left. Notice the again, very textured, dry stroke on the background, and it just fills in everything there. You don't need to think about it too much, and it looks really, really good. And his work really reminds me of Sargent in some way, of how he shows you the pure brush strokes and the ability to tell a story with just a brush stroke and have it read well and have it be clear and represent something, and on top of everything else have a realistic impression, because this is realistic. You know, it's impressionistic, but it is realistic if you take a few steps back. It's just amazing. This ability is really, really commendable. Here's another one, no boats. I wanted again to do some to keep the variety going. So we have two people walking the dog, and what I like about him is one more thing that I don't think I even thought about it up until this moment is a lot of the times the people in the scene are kind of an afterthought to add some interest and to add some, maybe make it a little more dynamic, have some movement. In this one, they're definitely not an afterthought, because I'm going to zoom in and you can see, notice how much work he put into the dog. The dog looks really good, and the people as well, you can really tell the gesture is so clear, and it's just not just, you know, a little smudge. It's actually the main point of interest in this one. And also one more thing I want you to pay attention to is this almost has a square orientation. It's not a landscape, it's not a portrait, it's more of a square. Notice how much depth he captures in this square. It goes all the way back to these houses in the background. He breaks a few rules and maybe guidelines that are recommended not to have too strong of a highlight in the background. So he has very strong highlights here on the buildings at the back, and somehow it doesn't compete, and it works really well. And the sheen or gleam on the water's surface, and together with the red and yellow here in the middle, these all come together to give you the feeling of maybe sunset. Could be sunrise as well, but this looks like sunset to me. It's very red and yellow and beautiful. So again, really conveys the feeling. Another beautiful scene of a sunset or a sunrise, probably sunset again, with the boats this time. Notice how he ties in the land and the sky using all of the well, I forgot what this part of the boat is called, but in any case, you know, this pole. I have a real brain fart right now, but in any case, you can see how he pulls everything together, and it just looks beautiful in my opinion. Next up, what do we have? This one. Okay, this is another interesting scene. So notice this, actually the branches in the foreground look like, okay, someone's trying to connect to my computer with Bluetooth. That's nice. These branches, they really look like they were scraped or scratched through the paint with a palette knife, which is interesting. Again, a very simple scene on the surface, but take a look at this, just beautiful. And I love how he does these different, just squiggly lines in the water, and there's so many colors in the water. So unlike watercolor, where you get the variation to be again very fluid and blended, here it's very rough, and I love this. If you zoom in a bit, you can't really tell what it is, but once we zoom out and even more, you can easily read it. There's a lot of interesting effects here also with like the, maybe that's what happens when you mix several, you know, he works mixed media. So maybe it's like the gouache and the water, and it all creates these interesting textures. Two more boats. I just really love these. I think the realism in this one is very good. It's just, if you take a few steps back from the monitor, or I'm going to zoom out for you, it looks almost like a picture. I may move too fast. So here you can take a look at this. By the way, sorry that the light is a bit weak here. It's just that it's now 6:30 in the evening, so the sun starts to set. Here's another beautiful piece of art. No boats again. This is just a landscape. Some birds here. The trees have been negative painted around, just with all of the darker areas of the landscape. Now notice this area in particular. You have orange, you have blue, you have green, you have this violet purple, you have almost black here. All of these, you have this very artificial green. This is just beautiful. I love this kind of work. And again, no people, no structures or anything. This is really just based on the beauty of the scene. Spectacular. Another one that I really like, and notice all of the swishes of opaque paint. Just love this. And inside the water, you can see some browns and some olivey greens, and just, the moment I saw his work, it clicked so much for me. I was like, I have to learn more about this artist. Here's another interesting one, and what I love the most about this one is the level of abstraction. It's almost laughable, but it looks good. So if I zoom in on this boat, what is this line here, the turquoise thing, and here turquoise decorations? There's nothing in here. There's literally nothing, just squiggly lines, and then I zoom back out, and it's like, oh, okay. It looks beautiful. There's this chalk, I think, here, just chalk touches in the background for that dry effect of the paper. This really pops as the center of interest, this entire area. A bit of yellow on the boat now, I notice, to put it in contrast with the green and with the background, and it works really, really well. He likes to drop some just stains of paint here and there. And here I think we come to the last one. Yeah, this is the next thing. This is the last painting I wanted to show you. Now, the reason I chose this one, it's a rather simple one. You know, it's super hard to get to this level, but we've seen more complex ones, is I love the composition. I love the way this one is structured. I love how simple it is. Again, nothing in excess. He doesn't state anything to your face. He doesn't force you to see, here's a boat, here's the anchor of the boat, here's this. It's just all, it allows you for a lot of imagination. And what I love in particular, again, here is the composition. Sorry about the menu at the bottom. And we'll start with this boat here at the front. The way it's set up to lead you towards inside the picture. Then you move into this one. The second boat, the one with the red and kind of black, looks more like the center of attention to me. The boat that's closest to us, and I don't even know what it is. If it is a boat, it looks really, again, simplified, and especially the left part. The more you get close to the edges of the painting, the more you want to kind of let it dissipate. You don't want to pull too much of the viewer's attention to the edges. So here he did this wonderfully, and you never doubt it. You never think, what happened to this boat here? So then it leads us to this boat with the details, with everything. Then it leads us to the green boat, and here again we have two complementary colors. So the green and the red, they work really well together. And then into the distance we have a boat that's less colorful. It's more of a very light purple, lilac kind of color. I think it's lilac. I don't know. Maybe I'm just inventing things, but it is much more gentle, and that's the thing I love about it. It's very gentle, the boat in the background. It doesn't command too much of your attention, and it's just there as a backdrop. And it's not even in the most background. We have this background behind everything, and if we zoom in on it, you'll see nothing. Again, no details, but somehow when you look at it from afar, it looks spectacular. This is why I love this artist. This is why I love Ray Balkwill's artwork. I will, again, I'm going to do a proper wrap-up, but just wanted to mention again, I will link up to his videos. You have to see this in process. Just a very quick teaser trailer, and I think you'll really enjoy this one. And I like, just generally speaking, I paint watercolor exclusively. I think this is the medium I'm going to use forever. I may try and taste other things, but for now, this is really my calling. But what I do try and do is learn from other mediums. So I learn from Drawmix Paint channel, the YouTube channel, with Mark, I believe. He teaches oils, but I learn from him. I learn from this kind of mixed media work. I try to learn from a variety of sources and that way supplement my abilities in my own medium. And who knows, maybe one day I'll do this more of a mixed media approach with watercolor and gouache and many other things. We never know. Sometimes you discover something and you have a click with it. So this is what happened to me with watercolor. This is what happens to many people with watercolor, to be frank. I hear this story a lot of like, I tried it for the first time and immediately I felt like I couldn't tame it and I have to learn how to. So how to do that. So this is just a beautiful example of taming it, mixing it with other medias, allowing it to do whatever it wants to do, and just beautiful. So this is it. I really hope you enjoyed this video and seeing his artwork. Let me know. This format is a bit different because I'm recording with my phone and not my Mac camera. So I look at the monitor and then I look to you. I do have, and I forgot to mention, I'm gonna mention this in a future video as well, but I want to start doing some live streams just to test it out and see how it works. So hopefully that'll be something interesting for you and me. Maybe a Q&A, maybe just showing you some of my work and painting live. I did get a good camera for streaming, a Logitech camera that's really good, and I think it will work well. So in any case, this is it. Let's do now a proper face-to-face wrap-up of this video, and I will see you again in a moment. So this is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video and seeing Ray's work. I am really impressed by it, and I feel like going through my learning curve, I see artworks differently. So now I feel like, at least compared to a few months ago, I can appreciate even more subtleties in the way he works and in the I suppose, in the final product of his work. So I'm really excited about that. Don't forget to check out the links in the description box again to his artwork, to everything else in that way. Now, just a quick YouTube update. So the upload schedule wasn't really consistent. The reason why is we're in the holidays, the Israeli Jewish holidays. We've had Sukkot, which is a nice one, a major one. We had Rosh Hashanah, which means just the head of the year, the start of the year. And so we're kind of in between. We had Yom Kippur, which is the day when you fast. So we've had quite a lot of, there was a weird sticker on my tripod. We've had quite a lot of these kinds of holidays, so the upload schedule wasn't consistent. I do plan on having it go up to 3 videos, and it's going to be Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, starting next week. So hopefully I'll be able to stick to that schedule, but I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. I'm allowing myself a little more freedom to mess up here and there. But hopefully you still enjoy the videos, and I plan on doing a lot more of these painting masters and the paint show and painting processes. I just finished a few paintings that I really like and I think you'll like as well. So I'll probably do a video of me showing just the final result. I already removed the tape and everything, so just showing you what they turned out to be like. I'm currently doing a realistic experiment. I'm trying to paint realistically, like an artist I really appreciate called Thierry Duval. And I will do a painting masters episode on him. He paints realistic scenes. It just looks like a photo, probably photorealistic. So I tried doing that, and I think it'll be interesting showing you the results of this endeavor. So many good things to come, and I hope to share more and more and more with you. I also have another plan. I want to do like a day in the studio with me so that you can feel like you're here with me. I'm going to record everything I'm doing, even if it's not necessarily art related, but it's more about the business and things like this, just, doing emails for marketing and doing stuff like that. So just showing you more of what I do and how I do it. And I really want to thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again in another vid real soon.